right, we're going to start the reading, and looks like you got the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a fighting card. It means that you're in a state of defense. You're here trying to ward off a band of haters, but you're in fight mode, and they're going after you. In part because there's this imminent tower moment, and that imminent tower is, basically there's going to be a collapse, and it seems like you might be resisting the collapse. In part because we see a Emperor in reverse, but also because when I saw that tower, I said, oh, let's go clarify it. And when we clarify it, we get the Ten of Wands, but we also get the King of Swords in reverse. So you have the King of Swords in reverse, and you have the Emperor in reverse. So, maybe these are representing different people that are along the way here, but, the King of Swords seems to be talking about something manipulative, keeping that tower from falling, and the Ten of Wands is about not releasing. So you have this fight. It seems like something is going to collapse imminently, but there's some resistance to giving up the anxiety, or giving up the anxiety, the burdens, and trying to manipulate this thing to stay. And the Emperor in reverse isn't really helping this at all. You got this rigid control, maybe a little bit of overconfidence about how this is going. And then when I tried to clarify this, we got the Eight of Cups in reverse, and also the Three of Wands in reverse. So that Three of Wands is sort of talking about you're stuck in this motion, or stuck and unable to move. And the Eight of Cups is you're stuck in this disappointment. So you got this like rigid component here. And again, maybe that's a person. Maybe that's a person showing up as rigid in your life, but it seems like, you're battling this thing. It's going to fall. You have kind of this stuck manipulative mindset about it. And you're rigid in how you're looking at this. But what's hilarious is that there's some Four of Wands. There's victory that comes out of this. So at some point, maybe you're able to go watch this thing fall, and recognizing that, like, when this stuff falls, it's not there to hurt you. Maybe grasp a lesson in pronoia, that everything is happening for your benefit. And you got to release this stuff, because then you can have some victory. And Judgment weighs heavy. So we got Judgment in reverse, which might be talking about some like self-doubt or harsh self-criticism. And then when I went to clarify it came back with more Judgment in reverse. So maybe we're talking about overcoming your self-doubts. But we also have this Four of Cups, and that Four of Cups is just kind of disconnected from all of this, which makes sense to me, because this is not the lightest reading. And we have a hyena over here that's helping to clarify some of this, which is sort of this like good-humored nature, the laughter and the like joking around. But it might also talk about a need for sobriety. So maybe if some of this is challenged by alcohol or challenged by drugs, this hyena is telling us it's okay to be funny and charming, but we're not going to want to be stuck there. And when trying to figure out what's coming from our soul, it's this lack of self-love, which in itself is really about judgment. I love myself for who I am today, but maybe you're not loving yourself enough, and maybe you're being too harshly critical, because judgment, that kind of self-love is coming from judgment, and you have three different types of judgment sitting here. So, maybe being a little bit less rigid could help. We got notification red, so something urgent. We got corporate blue, something kind of stagnant or sterile, just that corporate life that ain't fun. Oops, forgot to flip this over. You have the fortune teller, which talks about luck and blessing. So most of this reading is pretty not fun, but there's a piece of this here. So I think of these golden ones as sort of being your higher calling, and you got the biggest butterfly that's in there, which to me sparks of there's some divine transition going on, and you have a higher calling, and all of this, self-judgment, this tower, the resistance, the people that are fighting you, is all about some kind of transformation. Maybe that has to do with some love. This is a small rose, but maybe it's just something that you're growing. Maybe it's a small gift. And there's a hummingbird, and the hummingbird is really about staying in the present. Although this hummingbird just kind of strikes me as a gun. So, not a call for violence, but a call for like self defense, maybe. But that's a hummingbird. It's about being in the present. The grapes talk about kind of the emperor or the empress, so some power there. You got the bike, which is kind of reminiscent of the wheel of fortune, or maybe just getting out of there. You got two little dogs here that are facing in opposite directions, so seems like some kind of divine protection up there. Little gecko climbing around. This, I think, speaks of your energy body. Maybe in the cold. You have bat, which is another transition. I know lots of people think bats are scary, but seen in the dark a little. And then you have two suns in here. Now, one of them is just sort of plain. This one is sort of mystical with a smiley face in it, so a little playful. Maybe times are changing. And then you got the turtle, and sometimes a turtle is a king, and sometimes a turtle is a world. So you have kind of the wheel of fortune in the world, and this seems like maybe this whole thing is ending. In part because that tower is going to come crashing down at some point, and in part because that self-love is going to come back in, and you're going to figure that out. And then we also have, to end this, we have some runes that are hopefully helpful to you. The top one there is Uruz, and that's talking about strength. We have the Ingwaz, which talks about fertility, new blessings, inner strength, and some peace and prosperity in here. It's your double X. You have, Timaz, which is justice and self-sacrifice. So maybe we're learning something and doing something awesome here. And then finally, Laguz, which is about sea, lake, and flow. And flow is the one that sort of struck me the most of all of this. It seems like there's rigid control, trying to hold back the tide, trying to do this without enough, self-love guiding you, with this hyena spirit, this laughter, potentially non-sober existence to try to fend off some of this collapse. But it seems like some of this collapse is destined. It's calling you to a higher purpose and something different. And the outcomes all seem pretty good. Inner peace, justice, strength, new blessings, and it's all just got to flow. So I don't know which collective that's for, but if you're feeling like you're fighting everybody that's still left over from 2025, haven't quite moved into the 2026 energy, you still got this collapse that needs to come, have some resistance to it, haven't met a victory about it, and just can't give yourself any slack regarding it, then maybe this is for you. But it seems like there's blessings that follow when this thing inevitably collapses and life changes and life moves on for you. Good luck out there.